Welcome to this episode of the Rumble. My guest today is a man who's pretty well known in the entertainment industry, more so in the film industry. And he's had a pretty long innings. 20 years in the business is very good in these days when careers are born and shot down in 6 weeks. The man has lasted 20 years. Welcome to the show, Ramani.
Thanks, Madhav.
So your full name is, you're better known as Bharadwaj.
Yes.
And not as R. Bharadwaj. You're just Bharadwaj.
Well, there's a story to it. I'm basically called Ramani Bharadwaj, but then I was doing Telugu films and Kannada films in that name.
Okay.
But when I joined Tamil films, they felt the name was pretty long. So they said, okay, sir, cut this Ramani and have this Bharadwaj. So since 1996, I'm Bharadwaj.
And the strange thing is that you are in the Tamil film industry predominantly, with of course occasional forays into Telugu.
No, in fact, after I came down to Tamil, I have hardly done anything outside Tamil Nadu.
I'm saying predominantly here, but you were born and brought up in Delhi.
Yes.
And that's a very strange thing to come from there all the way here.
I was interested.
I know you belong to Tamil Nadu.
Yeah, I do belong to Tamil Nadu, but then I was born, brought up in Delhi. I was raised in Delhi, and but with like many people, I also got interested in film music, and I wanted to become a music director. The only place then was Mumbai and Chennai, and I thought, being a Tamil, I will get a chance in Tamil first. So that's why I came to Chennai.
Has your stay and your early life in North India influenced your compositional skills?
Certainly. Because if you look at the composition styles of North India and South India, totally different. And that's what I think people say, that my compositions are a bit different. Probably due to my influence of the influence of Hindi music in my...
Or is it Hindi film music or is it Hindustani music?
It's Hindi film music.
Hindi film. Let's be clear about it.
Yes,
it was Hindi film music.
Yes.
You grew up to all those...
Madan Mohan, Shankar Jaikishan, Lakshmikant Pyarlal, R.D. Burman and things like that.
And they're still widely appreciated even in South India, though our composers are not well known out there. What's the reason for that?
No, that's probably anything in Hindi or national is,
It's still considered national.
So I think that's the reason, I would say, why Hindi films are popular in South India.
And by profession, you are not a musician. You are.
You see, I would say that yes, I am by academic qualification, I am a chartered accountant. I did my schooling in college and then I did my CA. But parallelly, I joined Delhi University. I did this few courses on...
Did you consciously do CA as a fallback just in case?
Well, that's a secret has been unveiled now. I think yes. I wanted to get into business, music business, but then I belong to a family which didn't have any idea about music or films or anything of that sort.
Okay.
So they were all
employed
service-oriented people.
Service-oriented, as they say.
So that's the reason I had to fall back on something else.
So when you actually announced to your family that, hey, I'm going to now start playing on the keys, was it well received?
Well, surprisingly, first of all, I quietly came to Chennai one day, and then they were also away from Delhi at that time.
Okay.
Then I informed them that I'm going to Chennai, and then probably they had no...
God, you just jumped into one of those trains.
Yes. So it was a typical filmy scene where you go to I arrived in Chennai with a harmonium and a certificate.
You actually had a harmonium in your hand?
And a CA certificate too.
Okay.
And I joined a company called Ashok Leyland for some time for making my living. But then I was trying consciously with my...
to make a break
and I got into the field as usual, like a beginning. We all did. I did a first album for CBS, which was again you. In those days.
Correct.
I did Ayyappan Pugar Padal in 1986.
Yes. Do you have a copy of that?
I think I do have.
You do, because most people would like. Sometimes you like to remember how did you start the whole journey.
So I do have that. It was almost now 86. I remember the date. Even September 7th was the date.
Wow.
It was a Vinayak Chaturthi, and I began my so-called recording for CBS.
Okay.
And then gradually I did a lot of these devotional albums and radio advertisement and TV jingles and...
So you went through the grind, as they say.
Yes. For a full 86 to 93, I would say. I was 93, 94. So almost 7 years I was doing all this.
So you are pursuing music on the side while doing accountancy at...
No, accountancy, in fact, that's another thing I wanted to share. I got married soon. As soon as I got a job, I got married.
Okay.
But then I took a very bold decision of quitting my job next day after I got married.
Wow.
So,
did your in-laws know that you were planning that?
no, nobody knew about it, and probably they would have had the worst of its shock.
What about your wife?
Even she didn't know, and she knew only after I told her that I resigned. So it was a very...
So it's like now you have to sink or swim, so kick it up and leave it.
Yes, that's how I got into the music industry. And I've been lucky, and so far I've been made my own.
Yeah, it was a nice ride as it lasted.
Yes.
I remember one occasion when you and I, we sort of got involved in one project where you were composing new tunes that I don't know, is that a common experience? I mean, for me it was unusual. I
think that is one experience which I can never forget, where I had to compose tunes on a given track, and which was a brilliant idea, I would say. But then it needed some special talent. Probably I had the talent, and none of my so-called music directors or anybody has ever done it.
Yeah.
So we did experimented on it, and
it was quite a unique experiment. Sure. Actually, for all you people who don't know what the hell we are talking about, it's just that there were some songs which were originally done in Punjabi, and those music tracks were given to Bharadwaj without him being told what the original tune was. So without knowing what the tune is, he only had the backing music, and he composed fresh tunes on it. It was quite amazing that they sounded quite different from what the Punjabi. So that means. So
it's a question of imagine. It's a question of basically we arrange the tune. It was the reverse process, I would say. Normally we make the tune, then arrange on that. Here there's arrangement, and then you had the scope of having a melody on the background.
So when we come back, we see his not his first movie. I know his first movie, but he got into a line of movies which were with big stars, which actually turned his life around. So we'll talk about that. So. You had I wouldn't say first movie.
No, first movie was with Ajit.
In
Charan.
Charan. What happened to the combination of Charan and Ajit?
In fact, Saran, Ajit.
Yeah, not Charan. Saran.
Saran, whatever you call it. Saran.
Saran. Yeah.
Saran, Ajit, and myself and Vairamuthu. We have been a very formidable combination as far as the hits are concerned. Because right now, for example, I am doing my 12th film with Charan.
Oh, he's still around?
Yes, okay. But he's, of course, he's not at that, he's kind of, there has been some...
things that happened
he was down, but now I think he's back with his 12th film. I have done 12 films with him. And almost every film was musical hit.
A full dozen?
Yes.
That's quite amazing.
And I've done 6 or 7 with Ajit.
So how did that associate? And was it any different from, say, doing something with some other actor?
No, it's a very, this whole process of song making is a very interesting process. I always used to tell the director, in this case, normally we go out, we just want to...
Take a break
and just go out and do composing thing. We call the composing sessions.
Yes.
Now that happens in nearby, it's like, for example, in the seaside or mountains or wherever, we just want to have a break.
We won't be distracted.
Undistracted. But the idea is that you are at it 24 hours. Like you keep talking about it, how to do what because
so you eat, drink, sleep, only
everything,
the music.
film music, yes. So that gives you a lot of concentration and focus. And I always used to tell Charan that it's a very interesting process that when we go to it, say for Kodaikanal somewhere to compose music, while going there's nothing in hand. No, there's no. We don't know what kind of music we're going to get.
Yeah.
But then we come back. We come with 5 tunes of the movies, which become ultimate hits, and it's a huge bit.
So how does that happen? How does that process happen?
You see, the song composition per se is the job of the music director, the melody compositions.
Okay.
Now, how we do it's actually strictly there's no particular steps or procedural.
No formula.
No formula that can be applied. Okay. It's basically you try by trial and error method. You put different tunes to different combination of notes, as they say.
Okay.
So that particular thing would be we'll size it up and I will play it to the director.
So you will play a variety of tunes to him.
Yes. First of all I will try to compose a tune and which I think suits the thing. Because the song is a combination of not just musical notes but also the words, the expression, the singer's voice, the arrangement. So all these little things will have to be kept in mind. And as to who is, interestingly, you won't be surprised as to know, when we make songs, we also find out as to what time the song is going to come in the movie.
What time of the day or what time in the movie?
Movie, first reel, second reel, fifth reel, eighth reel. For your information, any song which is coming on the later part of the movie, which is coming at the end, necessarily has to be a very beat-oriented. Because the logic is that the audience is already in a fatigue mode by listening, going through all these 2.5 hours of
heavy storytelling
and everything, and there's a lot of fatigue. So there you go slowly. If you have a very lethargic or a slow song, it doesn't normally do well with the audience.
So you get a hard hitting.
So invariably, you see, we call the item song. They're all only the last.
Towards the end of the film.
End of the movie, yes. So all these things we need to kind of...
and fitting the words in, which is a better process? Fit the words in or compose it after you get the words?
95% or 90% is first tune is made, then the research matter.
Oh, that's the present way.
Yes.
But in the old days,
the lyrics used to be first and then the...
Why is that? Because the emotional content or the literary content was more important?
Yes. Because the songs were made for a purpose. See, the whole of, as you rightly said, the requirement of the film song has changed over the years. The need of a film song. Need of a song in the film has changed. So it was all story oriented and connect was there, but not... Now it's all entertainment.
It was an actual tool to push the story forward.
Yes.
Now is it a distraction?
It is an entertainment formula, quotient terms. It is that.
So now it's just something that you introduce in the middle.
Yes, just to have a break or which is on a different level of glamour.
So break for some people. They'll get up and go take a leak. They'll say, oh, Gana aa gaya, let's get out of this place. But those are the meanings. I mean, I suppose that's why the older songs are constantly being sung.
Yes,
even today.
There's a meaning. Now, if you look at some of the songs which have, of course, as an individual composer, I honestly don't understand why they have certain the song which doesn't have anything to do with Tamil Nadu or Tamil films.
Like?
Kilimanjaro.
Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with Kilimanjaro. It's just a hill, mountain in
then
Africa.
Why have that for our film? I don't understand. I mean, the logic is again, film song is all nothing but fun. So you can have anything.
Oh, for that reason.
I would personally always believe that it has to do with our culture. And
it should have been Tiruvannamala, some other local Malays, a hill out there.
See, after all, it is expressing one's view in the song. So when you see, obviously, if somebody wants to love, interestingly, in that song, the hero expresses love. I don't understand how somebody can express love through Kilimanjaro or anything of that sort. But then it has been diluted or taken to that level because they feel that it's a kind of entertainment and everything is okay with this.
So is that affecting the type of music? I mean, the whole classicism is...
Yes, classicism is definitely gone for a 6 because there is no kind of a focus or a definite attempt to give something classic. Or something good.
Like the test matches gave way to the ODI and now is given to the T20. Do you see a new T20 kind of music?
Yes, this is T20 most.
This is T20 music.
Yes.
When we come back, we'll find out from how is the music morphed into this T20 thing that we are watching now, full of hard song, fast song, Kolaveri and all the rest of it. Just to talk about that. So now let me talk about trying to find out what happened in an intervening period when a lot of things were completely turned upside down. Up to 10 years ago, music was booming. The public used to wait anxiously for the new release of a new film from Ajit or a new film from here, this or that. Yes. And from that position, it slipped down to a point when, first of all, there are no products in the shops.
Yeah.
Second, there are no shops. And then thirdly, there are no customers. Sure. So how did we arrive at this terrible situation?
Well, as you rightly said, the music industry has taken a very deep dive downwards. As a musician who has been there for long and I could see the changes myself, I would say that primarily the mechanization or the computerization of the production. That was one major thing which took away the human element out of that. first of all. So, and a computer could almost create, or with the help of computer, can almost create something which is similar to a song, not in necessarily in terms of quality, but something which resembles the product.
It has all the
form. Yes,
the form of a song.
The form could be
the pallavi, the anupallavi could
whatever,
be generated.
The general form of a song could be reproduced with the help of technology, and that was probably that.
But the early days, those are very expensive things.
Yes.
And that also dived in terms of software.
Everything, yes, because the recording system, for example, there had to be magnetic medium, good big mixers and and things like that.
So many faders, people pushing those things up and down.
Yes. Now they all have been they have come into software now. So there are software EQs and software sound.
Sound design they call it now.
And also in terms of inputs, like for example, instrumentation. A lot of sample industry have come into big way, and now you have the sound, which is all
library of new sounds being created. I mean that spawned a new industry, the generation of new types of sound. Previously, we were limited to what the sarangi would do, or this could do. Correct. Now, discharging electronics from capacitors, all kinds of synthesized sounds.
True. There are a lot of changes, especially one very distinct change is on the rhythm pattern. The percussion.
Yes.
We used to have earlier only all manual drums.
Rhythm section used to contain
drums and
X
all.
Number of
Yes, but now not anymore. Now we have n number of yn. I don't know, n to the power of n. In fact.
Yes.
So the combination of various sounds that are possible. As you know, the song is in a tempo. For example, we call the BPM, beats per minute, the tempo of the song, and you have samples on each. Tempo, millions of samples are available for.
But does that lead to dissatisfaction more than satisfaction?
Yes, in fact, that has also come to a problem. Led us to a problem where you are not able to decide as to this is the final one. You have so many things available.
Endless possibilities.
Possibilities, yes. So, in fact, what has happened is, in more than looking at it at a song on the holistic point of view, where you look at the beauty of the song, the purpose of the song, now it has gone to a different level where we are just trying to figure out things.
Or maybe is it because the song itself is no longer being viewed as it was in the original thing, as it's as a necessary part of the film.
Precisely.
Now it is something that you're just shoving in.
Yes. Now the basic difference between song of those days and this today is that those days we as listeners, we used to listen. We used to hear those songs. Now we don't hear, we only watch the song.
I guess that is.
And then when we see a song, then your focus is on who is acting, what is he doing, and things like that. So they wanted to dance on the song. So if dance is what required, then you have to have beats. If beats are required, you can't have repetition of words. So you go for a mixture of Tamil words.
Is there also a reason why dance directors have become more important than music directors?
Well, dance directors have got their own place in the industry because they are the one who make the stars dance to a particular.
But in the old days they never danced at all. They just walked up and down on the beach, hang on to a coconut, frond or something, and that was enough.
Yes.
People say how meaningful eyes. And now we don't have close-ups of actresses.
Yes.
All mid to.
In fact, I remember I did a movie called Autograph, where there is a song. Which I was not very sure how the hero of that picture called Saran would dance to a song. So I didn't want to do that. So what I did was I had my own plan. I made a song which was half Tamil and half Malayalam. Which said, Manasukulle daga vanducha vannallo. So obviously I had to show close up to him. So I would let him dance that song. So it was my plan to make a song where the dance was not necessary.
Okay.
So that was one rare occasion where I could make hero close-ups.
Dance to your tune.
Close-ups were possible because they had to necessarily show, like when the heroine says Vannallo, you have to obviously show her the thing.
That's true. So eliminated the
that was
need
so,
for
but
dance.
by large, it is always.
But it's a losing proposition now.
In fact, some of them, now I can tell you something which is very, some took it as a very bad spirit. When I told them that it was a very open statement, which it was a frank statement. I said, all stars, whether they are big or small, they do the same kind of justice to my song. So even the biggest star is also doing the same kind of dancing.
Okay.
The newcomer is also going to. So I don't find any great difference between this. So
Oh.
so that was actually taken up in a different by some people.
The big stars didn't like that. Being
Probably.
equated.
Yeah, they didn't like it probably.
Did you really mean that they really don't contribute anything to a song, or you meant to say your part of it is the same?
No. The contribution is actually very minimal, I would say. Okay. It's a fact remains. See, it's a fact. What I told is a fact. The big star doesn't really exhibit his acting virtuoso and this.
Okay.
So, because the song is not like that, there's no expression, emotion in that. And it's all mechanical.
Oh, you mean these new type dancing songs? Yeah.
Now every song is, there's hardly any song which is now without dancing. No?
So, do you see the industry picking itself up through new routes like going
there are certain new people coming up and there are certain changes. See, it's like a wave in any case.
Cyclic, it will be ups and downs.
The ups and downs will be there. People get obviously bored with this kind of a thing, and they will go for.
They will be going back to.
Sure.
So
I hope they do it.
So at least just because it will be essential to get some good classical songs and good compositions. For that reason, at least I hope they come back and say, Bharadwaj, get back in the industry. It's been lovely talking to you.
Thank you so much.
And I must just wait for your next production.
Thanks
you said
so
you got
much.
5 films, right?
Yeah, I'm doing 5 films. Thanks so much for interviewing me.
Thank
so
you
much.
for coming.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.